In this video, we're going to go in a little more detail on using Google AdSense. So at this point, we've already actually added in our first ad unit. So we've added a couple of ads to a page on one of my websites, just so you guys can see that process play out. So the next thing we want to do is we want to choose what kind of ads are actually going to show up on our site, because sometimes you don't necessarily have control as to what ads show up. There's certain URLs that maybe you don't want to have show up on your site as well. So you can use this page. It's going to allow you to block pages going to maybe competitor websites as well if you choose to do that. So that's completely up to you. But the next thing you can do is enter the URL that you want to block from actually showing up, because sometimes ads within your niche will show up on your site, and if it's a strict competitor or something like that, you could put this in. This is a little more advanced feature of Google AdSense, but it is something to know about, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. So you would just put in the website here, it'd be whatever the site is .com, and then block URLs, what you would choose there. So general categories. So these are categories if you want to block certain categories or allow certain categories from actually having ads appear on your site. Now, for example, one of the websites that I'm working from is csshowto.com. So I don't necessarily need, it's a more of a technical based website, so I don't necessarily need apparel advertisements to show up or arts and entertainment. I actually don't even need lawyer ads to show up. It's not going to benefit me. So I could really narrow this down and say, I really only want website specific to certain categories. So I could say I only want ads specific to business and specific to computer, if that's really what my niche is about, what my niche is focused on. So you can choose what ads. Sometimes there's ads that you just do not want to have show up. Most of the time, what you can do is you could actually just keep them, keep them on your page. The reason Google AdSense will actually have, if let's say I have a page about weight loss, for example, and sometimes you'll even be on a website about golf, and as another example, and you might see an advertisement that shows up on this golf site related to financial content or stock trading or something like that, and you might wonder, why am I even seeing this? I'm on a golf website. Well, that's because Google will actually look at, and let's say you just completed one of your stock trades or something, you were just on E-Trade or a website like that, they'll actually drop a cookie on your website and say, hey, you visited this page, and so it's called retargeting. So most of the time you want to have most of these fields open, like to work on all your sites, because if somebody was just at a website about stock trading and they're on my golf website, that means they're somewhat interested in stock trading, so they might click through, onto that next page. And so that actually makes me want to keep those ads running, because I'm all about whatever's going to get click through. So not everybody's going to see a stock trading ad, but it might show up as a stock ad to somebody that's unique to that page at that time. That ad's going to show up intelligently based on where they've been on the web. And so most of the time you're going to keep these general categories as allowed, but there are times where there's certain categories you just don't want to have content from. For example, like I don't want to have any dating content, show up on my weight loss or my technical website, or drugs and supplements. Political ads, we could keep that going. I'd say, religion, ringtones and downloadables. So you could choose, what you want to have show up and not show up. Let's see, the video games. Obviously, weight loss ads are going to be allowed because I've got a weight loss site. Get rich quick, we could keep those on there because that's popular. So sensitive categories is what's covered there. Ad networks, you can choose. Google actually has a large assortment of ad networks, and so these are certified ad networks where sometimes ads could come from. And so you can actually choose which ones you don't want to have show up. Most of the time, just keeping these checked is just fine, or you could click this and that will actually uncheck all of those from coming in there. So I'm going to check that back and make it go to it's okay, because I want to have as many ads showing on my site as possible for this particular site. Now, every one of your websites is going to be different. Ad serving, so we've got internet-based ads. So this is going to be certain types of ads that you don't want to have show up. So if you are, for example, running user-based ads, you could choose that I don't want to have social advertisement showing up for Google Plus and things like that. So most of the time these settings are just fine, as is the case on most platforms. So I like to just keep them as is. I did want to really just bring this to your attention though. So as well, just wanted to bring that to your attention. So And this again is found under allow and blocked ads. It's one of their main tabs, so it's important that you know what's back there. A lot of times you can just leave it as is. General categories is where you'll probably spend most of your time here, and that's just unchecking and saying, I don't really need ads about attorneys showing up on my site, so let's just uncheck that for now as an example. So that should give you an idea as to how that all works. You can also go here to site management. This is where you're going to add in some different websites. And so if you go to, and that again is found on the left hand side when you're under allow and blocked ads, it'll say under content, it's going to say manage websites, manage websites. And so this would be a spot for you to put in one of your websites as well, one of your websites. So I'm going to say add sites, and I've added in this website here, and it now shows up here as an option. So I could actually go here, and then when I go back to the allow and blocked ads feature, so it's going to say for this particular website now, if you have multiple websites here. So that's an important note to make, is that if you have multiple websites, like this is my CSS how-to website, right? So I only want technical based ads to show up here. So I'm going to take off everything, beauty and personal care. Actually, business ads are okay. Dining and nightlife, family and community. Finance, we'll keep that open. And so you guys get the idea. I don't need health ads running on my website, or hobbies and leisures running on my how-to website, right? But if I go to weight loss articles, for example, there are certain categories that I will want to have, on there. Like beauty and personal care works well with weight loss, whereas computer advertisements or business ads aren't going to necessarily, go ahead and work for me. So that should give you an idea there, though, of how this works, why you want to use that, why you want to manage your websites and your content. So that means on my weight loss site that I showed you in the previous video, we're not going to have ads showing up related to, business, because that doesn't really suit my niche. I want to make sure that I have the best chance possible of getting clicks on my links. And so that's where the allow and blocked ads feature comes into play here.